All right, guys, my exciting news has finally arrived. I just figured I'd do a quick unboxing, and what it is Ketone-IQ. Now, they selected me for a random giveaway. I can't thank them enough. I don't know how I got selected for this. I guess just, joking under their ads or whatever, and mentioning, send me some, I'll give it a try. And they actually did send me some, and I can't wait to review this stuff. I am beyond excited. But the science backing this stuff is incredible. But, I figured we'd get into a little bit of the unboxing here because, first of all, the packaging is amazing. Energy that's actually worth giving a shot. That is hilarious. Now, everything about this packaging is amazing, first of all. And I may sound like I'm simping, but I actually give props where it's due. And even something like the packaging, that shows you put in effort and stuff. And right here it has bullet points. It says, Ketone-IQ energy shots are formulated to support mental and physical performance. Meaning this isn't just about endurance training, but obviously that's the main thing I'm going to be using it for. But it's for all kinds of mental and physical benefit. Because this is basically literal energy in a bottle. Not a stimulant, but molecular energy. And we'll get into the science a little more. But right now, let's just do a quick packaging review. So it says, bullet points right here, what it's for, and that is running, working out, working from home, running from work back home to work out from home. All right, that's freaking hilarious. All the ingredients is like hardly anything, like water and just 10 grams of ketones basically is what you're getting. Super pure product. You don't have to worry about popping for a drug test. These are peach flavor. I imagine they're going to be pretty good. We'll do a taste test here in a little bit. On the bottom it says nothing to see here except for here, which is at ketone there thing. I mean, the whole packaging is hilarious. I think it's great. Show y'all what one of the bottles looks like. Bam. So it's a super small shot, but I can't wait to crack this bad boy open. I'm going to crack it open in a second and give it a taste test. But essentially, they sent me 24 of these, which is crazy because they're not cheap. They're like $5 a shot. And so it's like $130 for all of this. And I'm going to be doing trial after trial after trial of, reviews on these things. What is it like to take with caffeine, without caffeine on a day where I'm a little more tired, this part of the day, that part of the day. I'm going to let a couple of my friends try it. And I'm basically going to gather a ton of anecdotal evidence to come to some conclusions about, how effective this is. And just one little test isn't enough because I'm someone who takes a lot of caffeine, drinks a lot of energy drinks, I'm not big on certain pre-workouts. I'm not trying to tweak, you know what I mean? Even like beta-alanine, you're doing a little too much. Maybe occasionally. I don't like my skin crawling. But point is I'm very familiar with different stimulants and stuff like that. So basically I know things affect you differently. Like if I'm fasted, this is going to affect me differently possibly than if I'm not fasted. Because the whole idea of the ketones is when your body has no fuel source left, it's going to draw from its fat supply. However, if there's no fat or if the fat's taking too long to break down because the whole process of turning fat into ketones is, a very timely process, that means what is your body going to do? It's going to break down muscle to turn into ketones. No. We don't want that happening. So this is literally going to prevent, when I'm on pull-up 2000, it's going to prevent me from further damaging my muscles and my training being irrelevant because I'm going to have energy from these bad boys instead of drawing energy from muscular breakdown. So essentially, this is awesome. Obviously you can eat carbs and sugar for energy. That's a really sustainable source, but you can't just sit there and eat all day, and even that takes digestion, and it's a whole process in of itself as well. And if you're trying to maintain a deficit because you're in a cut or whatever, then that's a problem because now you got to balance your calories and your deficit along with getting enough energy to do an extreme endurance challenge. So it's very tricky. This solves all of that. This is a miracle supplement is what I'm saying, and I haven't even tried it yet. but I can't wait to try it. So we're going to crack it open here in a second. I'm going to look up real quick what the dosage recommendations are, like how long before you work out should you take it, should you redose at a certain point. I think I've already heard a couple things about that, but I just want to make sure I'm squared away with all that information. And yeah, I mean, thank you so much, Ketone-IQ. I know I sound like a simp for you guys, but like, honestly, I couldn't have picked a better company. Like, even like if I was to say like Red Bull, like I would rather be sponsored by Ketone-IQ than Red Bull, because as badass as Red Bull is, at the end of the day, it's not really anything special. This is like this is the future right here. This is special. Really, really special. There's a million energy drinks, right? But ketones is a whole new level of performance enhancing, not a drug, but supplement. And yes. But yeah, I'm not trying to go like overboard with this whole unboxing thing. I guess I'm just like super excited because it's the only thing I've ever won, and it's the coolest thing that I could have possibly won. I guess I didn't really win it. They just are cool just really cool over there. They want you to try their product because they know it's legit and they know you'll be a repeat customer. So they go ahead and send you $100 worth of their product. That way, you can review it, tell other people how amazing it is, and they make money, you make energy, everyone wins. But, I'm trying not to simp too hard for them. I haven't even tried it. So everyone calm down, I get it. I'm a simp for Ketone-IQ, but rightfully so. They earned me as one because, it's just so fucking cool. The science behind it is absolutely amazing. The science behind this stuff is crazy. And go listen to the Andrew Huberman podcast about this if you don't believe it or you think it may be a gimmick. I mean, it's pure, undeniable science. And I'll get into the science too as well, but right now I'm literally just unboxing and blabbing because I'm so excited. But, a couple other people who use Ketone-IQ are Truett Haynes, my absolute hero when it comes to doing pull-ups. He actually did the 10,001 pull-up, beat the record, and that was awesome. That was actually one of my life goals, and it's still one of my life goals, but I've got other goals to hit before reaching that milestone. But, he accredits a lot of that towards Ketone-IQ. You can see it in his videos, and he's not a person to just sell out and say this and that. No, like he's being genuine, and something like that level of an endurance task is going to require something next level like this. So this is a game changer. And it has an extreme reputation that's been upheld by, the best of the best. John Jones is actually a sponsor of it. Say whatever you want about him. I believe he's the greatest fighter of all time. But we won't get all Dana White in here about that. But, yes, Ketone-IQ. I'm about to crack this bad boy open next, do a taste test. This is going to be my first Ketone-IQ ever. I can't fucking wait. If you think I'm already like bouncing off the wall now, wait till I take. All right, so I guess I'll do a quick little rundown on the dosage. So you want to take this 30 to 60 minutes before you do your workout or your gaming or your mental chess match or your enlightenment of pure energy. I don't know what I'm saying. Listen, take this 30 to 60 minutes before you do whatever you're doing, and you'll have more energy for doing it. Now, this is going to be my first ever Ketone-IQ shot. I can't wait to just try the flavor, and then in 30 to 60 minutes, see how good I'm feeling, and then, compare it performatively. So, what it says, though, is to take 1 to 3 of these bad boys, and then re-up every 2 or 3 hours, 1 to 2 hours, something like that. Every couple hours, you want to take another one. So it's like, to keep the energy source flowing, you really do gotta be drinking these bad boys. 3 of them at once is nuts. There's no way I'll be starting with that, but I guess I will try that eventually throughout these trials. But without further ado, I'm just gonna, straight up try it. I guess I'll blab for another second, all the information I know about this stuff. Basically, you're gonna be getting your energy from somewhere, and that's either carbs, which turn into sugar, directly sugar, you're burning your fat, or worst of all, burning your muscle. The worst thing you want to do is burn your muscle. And essentially, this is the way to get energy without having to rely on burning muscle, because burning fat takes too long in a high energy state. You're not going to burn fat fast enough to break it down into the ketones that you need to get the adequate amount of energy to do something that's requiring high amounts of energy. So, point being is, your body will burn muscle because it's much more efficient at burning muscle. It'll literally destroy your progress as you're trying to gain progress, and that's just absolutely ridiculous. So the way around that is by taking Ketone-IQ. Then you don't have to worry about burning your muscle just because you don't have enough energy. So, and you don't want to become diabetic by like literally eating hundreds of grams of sugar just so that you can get through a marathon or ultra marathon or thousands of pull-ups or whatever you may be doing, or gaming for hours on end. Like if you're a professional gamer making tons of money off gaming, that's cool too. And you might want something that's not going to give you kidney stones like a bunch of freaking energy drinks are. So how about you do Ketone-IQ and see how it feels gaming? I can't wait to do a little gaming trial with Ketone-IQ. I think that's going to be awesome because I can tell the difference between wanting to casually play, being tired and not really wanting to play at all, and being locked in, laser focused in the flow state. So I'm going to see, if this helps, reach that flow state. All right, enough blabbing. It's time for my first ever Ketone-IQ shot. The time right now, was it 2:23? So at about 3 o'clock, 3:30-ish, we'll start doing some intensive exercising. That way we can know like if this is actually increasing my performance and how I feel, and et cetera, et cetera. Point being is, this is my first ever Ketone-IQ shot. We're just going to do one right now because I want to get a fair judgment of what one feels like and how one affects my performance. Now, I did eat carbs earlier, so that's an interesting concept because my body is also going to be digesting carbs, turning that into sugar, using that as a fuel source, and then I'll also be using this as a fuel source. So I'll have like a double fuel source. Is that how that works? I don't know. I got to look into the science a little more. But point being is, I'm going to try this in a bunch of different ways, and I'm going to try it fasted. I think this may be one of the best supplements for doing fasted workouts because you're still going to have energy, but you don't have to escape your deficit or whatever you're trying to do with your fast. So this is freaking awesome. Anyways, without further ado, let's crack this bad boy open and see what it tastes like because I'm so excited. Let's try out the taste. Whoa. Okay, that tastes different, completely different than what I thought it would taste like. All right. Whoa. Yeah, I thought it would taste like kind of like a flavored water, just like kind of peachy. This is peach flavor. No, it doesn't. It doesn't taste good. It doesn't taste bad either. This isn't about taste though. Definitely not something I would drink for the taste. But let me put it simple. Let me take another sip. What the heck? Woo! It has a bitter taste to it. It's kind of like taking a shot of freaking alcohol. Kind of like a chemically taste to it too. But not like chemical like energy drink. More of like, how would I describe that? Very tart. I mean, definitely not like undrinkable. I'm not trying to shit on how it tastes, okay? It doesn't taste good though, is my point, which is okay. This isn't about tasting good schmud. Who cares? I don't care about it tasting good. I care about, will this thing actually give me energy or not? Let's find out. So we're only going to do one. This is the first trial ever. I did have a Red Bull earlier. I did have some carbs earlier. I did have coffee this morning. Clearly I'm already like hyped just by even receiving this. I'm like, my energy levels are through the roof because of how hyped I am. So there's a lot of factors, and that's why we're going to do a lot of different trials on this stuff, because it's not as simple as taking it once and knowing for sure like how effective or ineffective it is. But as far as the taste test goes, extremely shocking taste test. I thought it was going to taste like a little flavored water shot. No, it tastes very chemically. And again, I'm not trying to make it seem like bad. That means that there's something in there for sure. I can promise you there is something in there. 100%. but I just didn't expect it to be that bitter, I guess. There's no real way to describe that. And I'm not going to try to make it sound worse than it is, because that's just not fair. But I don't have anything to compare that taste to, because nothing that I've ever tasted like that. Anyways, yeah, I'll report back. I'm running out of room on my freaking storage on my phone. So the videos, like, I got to really figure out how I'm going to do this with videos. I had to delete a bunch of stuff, I guess. But Ketone-IQ, thank you so much. I will be reporting back in 30 minutes, 60 minutes. I'll be working out hard as hell. We're going to see what this is all about. Once and for all, thank you guys so much. I love you, Ketone-IQ, and I'm going to give an honest review.